But it will be fulfilled at Christ's second coming, when in Revelation 20 verse 6 we read that all born-again believers will reign over the earth with Christ for 1,000 years. They shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. In verse 9a of Hebrews 2, the focus moves from mankind to Jesus. But we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor. In verse 7, we read that man was made a little lower than the angels, and here we read that Jesus was made a little lower than the angels. But Jesus is the Son of God, the second part of that divine Trinity and co-equal with God the Father. So how can this be? When Jesus came to earth, he took on the position of a man. As a result, he was made a little lower than the angels, and he suffered death on the cross. Unlike Adam, who was disobedient and died as a result of his sin, Jesus was obedient to his Father's will, even unto death. Verse 7 goes on to tell us that Jesus will be crowned with the same glory and honor as man. By becoming flesh and blood and sharing our afflictions, fully identify himself with us, and through his humility and suffering, Jesus defeated the power of death. And this makes it possible for God's promise that mankind will have dominion over the earth to be fulfilled both through Jesus' own dominion and that of the believers who will return to rule and reign with him in the millennium, as we read in Revelation 20 verse 6. If Jesus hadn't taken complete humanity on himself, this would have been impossible. And so the first reason that Jesus came to earth as a man to die is to fulfill God's divine purpose for mankind.